Welcome to the Confidence in You podcast, designed to help you build confidence and create positive, lasting change in your life. And here's your host, Helen Luxford.
Welcome back, and thanks again for joining me today on the podcast. Today we're going to revisit self-esteem, talk a little bit about what it is, the difference between confidence, and I'm going to give you 7 strategies on how you can improve or increase your self-esteem. So stay right till the very end and get all of the 7 strategies. Before we get started, let's talk about self-esteem. So what is it? Self-esteem is what you think about yourself. It's the confidence you have in your own worth or abilities. Self-esteem encompasses the beliefs you hold about yourself. So for example, I'm smart, I'm loved, I'm worthy, as well as the emotional states and feelings that you allow yourself to feel, such as joy, happiness, success, despair, sadness, pride, hurt, fear, guilt, or shame. Self-esteem is the extent to which you honour and acknowledge yourself. So you might be thinking, what's the difference between self-esteem and confidence? And that's a great question. Confidence is your assuredness. It's your feelings of sense of self and being sure of yourself and your abilities. It's an attitude and a knowing that you accept and trust yourself and that you are able to make decisions and control your life in the way that you want to, that serves you best and that meets your needs. Now, confidence doesn't mean always getting it right. It means that if things don't go to plan, that you learn from them, you adapt, you adjust, and you go again. Because you're assured, you have it in yourself, that assuredness, that you back yourself, that you can just get up, brush yourself off and go again. Having a healthy self-esteem can lead to having good confidence. Conversely, if you have a low self-esteem, it can affect your confidence as well. Now, just because you're confident doesn't mean that everything is going to go your way. For those with a healthy self-esteem and who are confident, they also experience the ebbs and flows of life, the ups and downs. And there may be times where they don't feel as confident as other times. But they ride these waves of life, knowing that life is about change, that things are always changing, nothing stays static, and that things come and go. They experience the rises and the falls. They experience the peaks and valleys. And those with a healthy self-esteem can recognise this, and they ride the waves easier than those with a low self-esteem. Self-esteem and confidence come from your emotions. It's all about how you feel. So to increase your self-esteem, you need to change how you feel about yourself. Now, if you have low self-esteem, chances are that you've probably had it for a while. So my advice is, if you want to increase and improve your self-esteem, then take small steps and do something for yourself each and every day. Something small, something little, but something for you, because you deserve it. You deserve to do that for you. So start now by thinking about something you'd like to do or have, but for whatever reason, you don't have it or you haven't done it. You might be thinking that you don't have time because you do so much for everyone else, that there isn't enough time in the schedule for you to do that thing you want to do. So it goes to the bottom of the list and you never get to do something for yourself. Or it might be that you're exhausted because of the busyness of your current schedule. Or you might feel that you don't deserve it, or that you feel guilty about doing it or having it. Now, I've always been a fairly confident person, but sometimes my self-esteem might be a little bit less than what it was. And at times I used to feel a little bit guilty sometimes about going for a massage because I was really busy with life. I was busy putting everyone else's needs ahead of my own. But a coach helped me realise that if I don't look after myself first, how can I look after and help others? So now I relish booking in a massage and really enjoy the whole experience. I allow a lot more time to get there. I have a cup of herbal tea and read a magazine before I go in, and at the end I sit and relax and enjoy another cup of herbal tea. And I changed my whole approach to going for that massage. I used to think I was too busy to fit it in, and I'd feel a little bit guilty about if I went and had a massage, I wasn't doing something for someone else in the extended family that I'd said I'd do it for. But I realised with the help of my coach that we need to plan in time for ourselves to do things that make us feel good. And also I realised with the help of my coach that we do prioritise what we feel is important. And I just needed to prioritise things for me, put them higher up the list, because I did deserve to have that time for myself, because I was being run thin. I was saying yes, 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 yes to everyone. Now, they weren't asking me necessarily to say yes, and it's a really funny thing, because when I started saying no, or not now, or yes, I can do it, but I can't do it right now, I can do it in a day or 2 days or a week, it's funny how people said, oh, that's okay. Or they'd say, oh, that's all right, I can get someone else to do it. And I felt relief, all because I was coached around being able to say no or no, not now. Because part of my self-esteem was I was the go-to person. I was the go-to person that people came to for help. And that was great, and I loved doing it, but I did it at an expense of myself. And I got tired and I got exhausted. So I want to help you avoid that, and I would also like to help you build your self-esteem and confidence, because that's what this podcast is about. So without further ado, here's 7 tips to help you build your self-esteem. Number 1, acknowledge and be proud of your achievements. Particularly if you're busy, we get caught up in the busyness. So think about what is something that you've done recently or in the past. What is something that you have accomplished, learnt, designed, created, or made that you're proud of? It can be anything, but acknowledge it and just sit with it inside yourself and, give yourself a little pat on the back that you've achieved that you've done that. Number 2, our inner thoughts. Catch, cancel, and change what your inner critic is saying to you, and stop blaming yourself. Do you find that you blame yourself for things that go wrong around you, even when it's not your fault? Catch that inner critic, and next time it rises up, look at it for what it is. It's a habit that you've formed, that for some reason you self-blame without looking at the situation or thinking about what happened. So just acknowledge and understand that things go wrong, but it's not always your fault, and that sometimes others need to take responsibility for things. And next time you feel that emotion of self-blame, self-sacrifice, or guilt rising up in you, catch it. Catch it. Now that you know about it, catch it. And stop and evaluate what is going on. And is it really your fault? Do you need to take the blame, or are you just self-blaming because that's the habit that you've got into? So catch that thought, evaluate what's going on, and then cancel it out. Or stay silent and don't blame yourself. Change that thought around it. Recognize that it's not your fault, and that's okay. You can be in a room or around others where things don't go to plan, and you don't have to self-blame. Just check in with yourself and let go of the self-blaming. Catch the thought, evaluate, cancel it out, and change it to be, okay, it's not my fault. I'm not going to say anything here. Number 3, look at yourself differently. And when I say this, I mean look at yourself differently. Have a look in the mirror. And when you see yourself differently, you start to think about yourself differently. Just be you. Relax and be okay with your appearance, because we're all meant to be different. Look in the mirror and really look into your eyes and just say to yourself out loud or in your mind, it's okay. I love you just the way you are. There's a great book called High 5 Habits by Mel Robbins that you might want to check out. It has some great stuff in it about improving your self-image and self-esteem. Number 4, Embrace you, all of you, and stop comparing yourself to others. The only measure of life is, are you living the life you want in more alignment today than yesterday or last week or last year? Identify what brings you joy, not what other people say, think, or push onto you. Identify what really brings you joy and develop your own routine and schedule around that. Include things that make you feel good and happy. Fill up your cup. Number 5, let go of external validation. Having a healthy self-esteem means you know intrinsically inside that you're doing okay. And you can let go of seeking validation from others because you know internally you've got this. Now, this may take a bit of work because that inner critic might be popping up. That's why you can catch, cancel, and change the inner critic. Give yourself a pat on the back whenever you do something, no matter how small it is. Give yourself a pat on the back. That internal validation. Consider this. I'd invite you to create a list every day of the things you achieved that day. Everything, small things, big things, the lot. For example, you got up on time. You completed X amount of tasks today. You cooked dinner. You did the ironing. You went for a walk. You went to the gym. You did some study. You did a presentation to someone. You made time for yourself to do something for you, to read, have a bath, whatever it might be. Whatever you've accomplished through that day, take time, take 5 minutes to stop and recognise those things. And the more you acknowledge all of those small things you do every day, it will help your mind focus on that internal validation and giving yourself a pat on the back. I strongly encourage you to do these 3, 4, 5 times a day. Put a reminder in your calendar, and it can say something like, stop and think about the great things I've done, or remember all of the things I've achieved today. Create a habit of recognizing the amazing things that you do each and every day, big and small. Number 6, reconnect and find yourself. In a busy world and with so many demands on us, it's easy to lose our identity. We're born being us, but we are also a daughter, a sister, a cousin, a mum, a friend, a colleague, a workmate, a gym buddy, a sports or hobby friend, and the list goes on and on and on. When we try to be all these things to all these people, we can run ourselves thin and it doesn't work. We can lose ourselves in the midst of it. We're trying to just be something to someone else, but we need to be who we are for us. We just need to be us. Just be you. And those people in your life who are meant to be with you on this journey will accept you for who you are. People come into our lives for a reason, a season, or a lifetime, and they're all okay for however long they're with you. But be you in that process. Just be you, and your energy will attract those to you. So find a way to reconnect back in with who you are at your core. I know you can be a mum, a friend, a cousin, a sister, a colleague, whatever it is. You can be all those things, but just be you in the process. Reconnect with who you are at your core. Find a course, a coach, or some way that will help you roll back those layers and find the true you to allow you to reconnect, embrace, and love who you are at your core, because that's where the magic happens. Number 7, put yourself first. Yep, put yourself first. It's okay and it's needed. It's okay to do things for yourself because you need to do that to replenish and re-energize. If you don't put yourself first, you run the risk of exhaustion or burnout. So tomorrow I invite and encourage you to do one thing just for you. Put yourself first and see how great it feels when you do. So that's all I have for you today. I hope you resonated with some of these tips and that you're going to put some or all of them into practice for you. So I just want to ask you one more question. Which one of these tips are you going to do for you tomorrow? I hope it's all 7. But if not, pick 1 or 2. and do them for yourself. So here's a quick recap. Number 1, be proud of your achievements. Congratulate yourself like you would a child who has done something. Number 2, catch, cancel and change that inner critic dialogue from negative to something positive. Number 3, look at yourself differently. Embrace who you are and celebrate your uniqueness. Number 4, embrace you. Let go of comparing yourself to others and just measure how you're tracking against the things that you want to do, have and be. Number 5, let go of external validation. Become your own biggest cheerleader. Celebrate your small wins and see how this changes how you feel. It's a much better recognition than others saying, good job. It's a knowing that you've done a great job. Reconnect and find yourself again. Stop, slow down, and find a way to reconnect with who you truly are. Discover what's really important to you in your life and create a plan to work towards it. And number 7, put yourself first. Work out what you want and invest in yourself. Start that course that you've been thinking about, or find a course, or find a coach to help you connect with self. Understand what's important, focus on that, and set some strategies to help you work towards it. Thank you for listening, and I'd really appreciate a rating and review on iTunes so we can reach more people together. And thanks for sharing with family and friends. Until next time, let your light shine bright.